Hi, I'm Croston, the Hardy Product Manager and England team member, and this is 2-Minute Masterclass. French nymphing is a method that's become massively popular in the last few years. Although the method that many of us actually refer to as French style nymphing is actually a Czech adaptation of the French technique. In the traditional French technique, a very long leader was used, nearly always with a single fly, quite often with a fluorescent coloured bead or a fluorescent coloured collar. The technique was mainly practiced in very shallow water, casting to a sighted fish and then inducing the fly to get the fish to take. And it's an absolutely devastating method in those circumstances. The method most of us use today is an adaptation of that, whereby 2 and even sometimes 3 flies are used, and quite often they have a little bit more weight in the fly. The leader setup is very similar, but with the more modern method, it can be applied to many different water types, including deeper riffles, areas of rapids, or even in pocket water. Both methods are phenomenally effective in the right kind of conditions. Rods for French style nymph fishing are typically 10 feet or longer in length, and anything from a 2 through to a 4 line size can be used. In the traditional French style, the cast is typically delivered directly upstream, and the indicator watch closely as it drifts back for any movement. Ideally, you're trying to sight the fish before you make the cast. The configuration of the leader, being very long and very light, lends itself to casting long distance and still maintaining fly control without detrimental drag. A start to finish run through of the key points of upstream French nymph style fishing and the modern style are as follows. The first phase is to pitch the flies directly upstream, ever so slightly across from the angler, allow to sink and immediately start to track the indicator. If anything happens at this phase, set the hook immediately. Don't try to decide if it's a fish or not, always set the hook. If no takes forthcoming, allow the indicator to drift and then start to manipulate by gently lifting and dropping the flies to suggest natural movement. Indicators for French nymph fishing are typically bicoloured nylon. These can be either straight or coiled in design. The straight type is competition legal. The coiled versions are much easier to spot and can be far better if you're new to the technique. The leader to fly line connection is of massive importance to French nymph fishing. It needs to be smooth and go through the rod rings without getting stuck. I use a blind splice to the core of the fly line. We'll show you how to do this in a future masterclass video. Whilst French nymph fishing is a deadly way of achieving a drag-free drift, actively jigging the flies can also be deadly. Typically when fishing, I'll dead drift an area 2 or 3 times and then actively jig the flies in the same place, hoping to attract a take.